The most dangerous prison you will ever be trapped in is not made of walls or bars. It is built inside your own mind, and it begins the moment one painful truth refuses to leave your thoughts. When betrayal enters a relationship, it doesn't just break trust. It breaks your mental peace in a way that feels almost violent, because suddenly your brain starts replaying everything you wish you could forget. The words they said, the lies they told, the strange moments you ignored, the gut feeling you dismissed. All of it starts looping like a broken record you never asked to play. You close your eyes and it's there. You try to sleep and it gets louder. You try to move on and it drags you back. It feels like your own mind has turned against you, as if it is deliberately torturing you with memories you cannot escape. And the worst part is, it doesn't stop even when you want it to. You might be sitting in silence, trying to focus on something else, and suddenly one memory hits you so vividly it feels like it's happening again in real time. Your chest tightens, your thoughts spiral, and before you know it, you are back in that moment. Not physically, but emotionally trapped inside it. This is not weakness, and it is not you being stuck. This is a known psychological response called intrusive thinking, where the brain forcefully replays emotionally charged experiences as if it is trying to solve an unsolved danger. But here is the twist most people never understand. Your mind is not replaying the pain to punish you. It is replaying it because it mistakenly believes it is protecting you. Your brain is wired to detect threats and prevent future harm. So when betrayal hits, it categorizes that experience as something dangerous that must never happen again. But instead of helping you move forward, it overcorrects. It keeps the memory active, loud, and repetitive, as if constant replay will somehow help you figure it out or regain control. What it actually does is trap you in a cycle where healing feels impossible, because every replay feels like fresh pain instead of old history. And the more emotional the experience, the stronger the loop becomes. That is why even when you logically know it is over, your emotions behave like it is still happening. This is why so many people find themselves exhausted, unable to focus, unable to sleep properly, and emotionally drained long after the actual event is gone. It is not just heartbreak, it is neurological repetition. Your mind becomes a broken courtroom replaying the same evidence, trying to find a different ending, even when the verdict has already been delivered. And until you understand this mechanism, you will continue to fight the wrong enemy. You will think you are battling memories, when in reality you are battling a survival system that is stuck in overdrive. In this breakdown, we are going to go deep into what is actually happening inside your brain during these mental replays, why your nervous system refuses to let go even when you consciously want to move on, and most importantly, how to interrupt this loop so your mind stops punishing you with the past. Because freedom doesn't begin when the memory disappears. It begins when the memory stops controlling you. And if you stay with me until the end, you will understand exactly how to break out of the cycle that has been silently draining your peace, your focus, and your emotional strength. Most people live by default. We live by design. If you are the person quietly dismantling old patterns to build a future that actually belongs to you, you've found your circle. We don't do victim, here we do vision. Subscribe to sharpen your awareness. Leave a comment and bring your insight to the table. No noise, no ego. Just the blueprint for a stronger mind. Let's get to work. To stop the replay, we first have to understand why it is happening. Your brain has a very old part called the amygdala. This part of your brain is responsible for your survival. When you experience a betrayal, the amygdala sees it as a life-threatening attack on your safety. Because the person who was supposed to protect you is the one who hurt you, your brain goes into a state of high alert. Keeps replaying the event because it is trying to solve the problem. It is looking for signs, patterns, and clues so that you never get hurt like this again. In its own strange way, your brain is trying to protect you. But while it tries to protect your future, it is destroying your present. In relationship psychology, we call this rumination. Rumination is like a cow chewing grass. It brings the same information up again and again to process it. The problem is that betrayal isn't like grass. It's like poison. Chewing on it doesn't make it easier to digest. It just makes you sicker. Observations show that people who spend hours every day replaying the betrayal take much longer to heal than those who learn to interrupt the thought. This doesn't mean you ignore what happened, but it means you stop letting the memory run your life. Let's look at the story of a man named Daniel. Daniel found out his girlfriend had been lying to him for months. After the breakup, Daniel couldn't stop the mental replay. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the moment he found the secret messages on her phone. He began to detective his own past. He would sit for hours thinking, what was she doing on that Tuesday 3 months ago? Or, was she lying when she said she was with her mother? Daniel thought that if he could just figure out every single lie, he would finally feel at peace. But the more he searched for answers, the more the movie played in his head. He stopped going to the gym, he pulled away from his friends, and he eventually lost his job because he couldn't focus. Daniel made the mistake of thinking that understanding the betrayal would stop the pain. He didn't realize that his brain was addicted to the stress of the replay. He was trapped in a loop of his own making. Psychologically, Daniel was experiencing trauma bonding with the memory. Even though the girlfriend was gone, the pain was still keeping him connected to her. When you replay the betrayal, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. This keeps you in a state of fight or flight. To stop the replay, you have to teach your body that the danger is over. You have to move from the emotional brain back to the logical brain. One of the most effective behavioral patterns to break this loop is called thought stopping. When a memory starts to play, you have to literally say the word stop out loud. This creates a small break in the electrical patterns of your brain. Then, you must immediately give your brain a task that requires focus. This is why many people find relief in physical exercise or learning a new skill. You cannot think about two complex things at the same time. If you are focusing on lifting a heavy weight or solving a puzzle, your brain has to turn off the movie of the betrayal to handle the current task. We also have to talk about the mystery trap. Many people replay the betrayal because they are looking for a why. They think, if I just knew why she did it, I could stop thinking about it. But observations of relationship dynamics show that the why is almost always the same. The person who cheated lacked the character and integrity to be honest. There is no magical explanation that will make it feel okay. When you accept that there is no why that will satisfy you, the replay starts to lose its power. You stop being a detective and start being a survivor. In the world of psychology, we see a trend where people confuse replaying with processing. Processing means looking at the event, learning the lesson, and moving forward. Replaying is just staying stuck in the pain. You know you are replaying when the thoughts don't lead to any new insights. They just lead to more tears and more anger. To move from replaying to processing, you have to write things down. When you put your thoughts on paper, they move from the infinite loop of your mind into a physical space. This helps the brain realize that the information has been stored, and it doesn't need to keep playing it on the screen of your mind. Another important tool is time boxing. If you find it impossible to stop thinking about the betrayal, give yourself a specific time to do it. Tell yourself, I will think about this from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., and that is it. When the thoughts come up at 10 a.m., tell them to wait until their scheduled time. This teaches your brain that you are the boss of your thoughts, not the other way around. It helps you build the mental muscle of discipline. Many people feel guilty for wanting to stop the replay. They feel like if they stop thinking about it, they are letting the other person get away with it. But your suffering doesn't punish the person who hurt you. They are likely moving on with their life while you are sitting in a dark room replaying their mistakes. The only person you are punishing is yourself. Breaking the loop is the ultimate act of self-respect. It is saying, you took my trust, but I will not let you take my mind. Observations of men and women show that men often replay the event or the physical details, while women often replay the conversations and the emotional lies. Both are equally damaging. Regardless of the details, the cure is the same: grounding yourself in the present moment. Look around you right now. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, and 3 things you can hear. This is a psychological technique called grounding. It pulls your brain out of the past and back into the safety of the now. The mental replay is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. It takes effort and it takes time, but it is possible. You are not broken because you can't stop thinking about it. You are just a human being with a brain that is trying to survive a shock. Be patient with yourself, but also be firm. Don't let the ghost of a past relationship haunt your future. You have a life to live, and that life cannot happen as long as you are looking backward. The loop running inside your mind may feel like a locked cage that you didn't choose to enter, but the uncomfortable truth is this: you are still the one holding the key, even if it doesn't feel like it right now, and once you understand how that key works, the entire structure of your pain begins to change. We already uncovered why the brain gets stuck replaying betrayal, why it keeps dragging you back into memories you wish would disappear, but now the real shift happens when you stop studying the problem and start learning how to break its power completely. Because the mind does not operate randomly. It behaves like a train moving on tracks, and whatever emotional patterns you repeatedly think about become the rails it continues to follow. So if your mental tracks are built from questions like what if, why did they do this, and how could they lie, then you are not healing, you are simply sending your thoughts in circles, reinforcing the same emotional route over and over again until it feels like there is no exit. But there is an exit, and it begins the moment you realize you are not stuck with your thoughts, you are shaping them. To break this cycle, you must start laying down entirely new mental tracks. And this is where most people misunderstand the process, because it is not about forcing yourself to think positive or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It is about something far more powerful called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to physically rewire itself based on repetition, attention, and emotional focus, meaning every time you catch yourself mid-replay and deliberately redirect your attention back to your present life, your goals, your actions, your body, your environment, you are not just distracting yourself, you are actively reshaping the structure of your mind, weakening the old trauma pathways and strengthening new ones that no longer revolve around pain. This is how transformation actually happens, not through one big moment of clarity, but through small repeated decisions to refuse the mental loop and choose a different direction even when it feels automatic to fall back into it. And over time, those small interruptions become permanent rewiring, until what once controlled you loses its grip completely. Most people watch content like this just to be entertained, to pass time, to feel something temporary and then move on. But if you are still here, there is a different possibility. You are not looking for noise, you are looking for understanding, for structure, for control over your own mind, and that already places you in a different category of thinking. If that resonates with you, then consider subscribing and staying connected, not as a passive viewer but as someone actively building mental discipline. This space is for people who value clarity over confusion, logic over emotional chaos, and depth over distraction. I want to see how you think, not just what you feel, so engage in the comments with your perspective, because this is not about judgment. It is about understanding patterns, learning from them, and breaking them. If you are ready to stop being controlled by mental repetition and start taking back authority over your inner world, then stay with me, because what comes next will show you exactly how to cut the loop at its root. Let's look at the story of a woman named Sarah. Sarah discovered her husband had been unfaithful for 2 years. For months, she was trapped in the mental replay. She would imagine every conversation he had with the other woman and every lie he told her to her face. She felt like she was drowning, but Sarah decided to try a different path. She started a mindfulness practice. Every time a replay started, Sarah would say to herself, "That is a memory. It is not my reality." Then, she would focus all her energy on a new goal. She wanted to run a marathon. When the thoughts of betrayal came at 3 a.m., she didn't lie in bed and cry. She got up, put on her shoes, and went for a run. She used the anger and the pain as fuel for her legs. Slowly, her brain started to associate the betrayal thoughts with physical strength. Instead of feeling like a victim, she started to feel like an athlete. 6 months later, Sarah ran her race. She realized that she hadn't thought about the affair in weeks. By choosing a goal that was bigger than her pain, Sarah taught her brain that the replay was no longer important. She grew into a woman who valued her own progress more than her ex-partner's mistakes. Sarah's story shows us the importance of replacement therapy. You cannot just empty your mind of bad thoughts. You have to fill it with something else. If you try to just not think about the cheating, you will think about it more. It's like saying, "Don't think about a blue elephant. What are you thinking about right now? A blue elephant." Instead, you have to say, "I am going to think about my career, my health, and my future." You have to give your mind a new movie to watch. In relationship psychology, we also observe a behavioral trend called pain shopping. This is when you go looking for the replay. You check their social media, you read old emails, or you ask friends about them. This is like pouring gasoline on the fire of your rumination. To stop the replay, you must stop the input. You have to go no contact, not just with the person but with their digital life. Every time you see a new photo or a new post, you give your brain 1,000 new scenes to replay. Blocking and deleting isn't about being immature. It is about being a protector of your own mental health. We also need to understand cognitive reframing. This is when you change the way you look at the betrayal. Instead of saying, "I was replaced," you say, "I was released from a dishonest person." Instead of saying, "I wasted 10 years," you say, "I learned a hard lesson that will make the rest of my life better." When you change the story you tell yourself, the movie in your head changes too. The scenes of betrayal start to look less like a tragedy and more like a necessary ending to a chapter that wasn't good for you. Another psychological trap is the comparison loop. This is when you replay the betrayal and compare yourself to the other person. You think about what they have that you don't. But observation shows us that people who cheat don't trade up, they trade for different. Most of the time, the other person is just a distraction from the cheater's own internal problems. When you realize that the affair had nothing to do with your value, the need to replay the comparison stops. You realize you were never in a competition because you are in a completely different league. Grounding is a technique we mentioned earlier, but it is worth going deeper into. One very simple way to stop a mental replay is to engage your senses with something intense. This could be holding an ice cube in your hand or smelling a strong scent like lemon or peppermint. The intense physical sensation forces your brain to pay attention to the now. It shocks the system out of the memory loop. This is a great tool for when the replays feel very loud and overwhelming. You should also look at your physical environment. If you are sitting in the same chair where you found out about the cheating, or sleeping in the same bed, your brain is surrounded by triggers. Your environment is constantly whispering the memory to you. Sometimes you need to change your space to change your mind. Paint a wall, move the furniture, or buy new pillows. Give your brain new things to look at so it isn't constantly reminded of the old pain. Many people find that the replays are worst at night. This is because there are no distractions. To handle this, try listening to audiobooks or educational podcasts as you fall asleep. By giving your ears a story to follow, you prevent your mind from creating its own painful story. You are essentially crowding out the betrayal with new information. It is also vital to practice self-compassion. When the replay starts, don't get angry at yourself. Don't say, "Why am I still thinking about this? I should be over it by now." That just creates a second layer of pain. Instead say, "My brain is trying to protect me, but I am safe now. It's okay to feel this, but I am choosing to focus on something else." Treat yourself like you would treat a good friend who was hurting. You wouldn't yell at a friend for being sad, so don't yell at yourself. As you grow, you will notice that the replays happen less often. They might go from happening every hour to every day, and then once a week. This is progress. Don't let a bad day make you feel like you haven't healed. Healing is a slow process of building self-respect. The goal isn't to forget that the betrayal happened. The goal is for the memory to have no emotional sting left. It becomes just a fact like the weather from 3 years ago. You are the author of your own life. The person who betrayed you wrote a messy chapter, but they do not get to hold the pen for the rest of the book. By choosing to stop the mental replay, you are taking the pen back. You are deciding that your mind is a sacred space that belongs to you. Fill that space with your dreams, your goals, and your growth. The more you build yourself, the smaller the memory of the betrayal will become until one day, you look back and realize you haven't replayed it in a very long time. Staying until the end isn't just about finishing a video. It's about refusing to look away from the truth. I appreciate you being here for the full conversation. It shows you're ready to apply what you learn rather than just hearing it. Subscribe to Lock in this standard for yourself. We're building a community where boundaries and self-respect are the baseline, not the exception. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading your take. Keep challenging the narrative. I'll see you in the next one.